G20 is something that we have to look at. I'm being prompted by the control room that G20 decorations is something that we have to look at, but that's not all, because I'll tell you what, and I'll show it to you. That's exactly what I was looking for and forward to as well. In terms of G20, the National Guard has been brought in. That there are traffic curbs in the national capital, and the NSG has been brought in for security as well. And it's important that the NSG has been brought in vis-a-vis all the absurd claims by China in terms of the map. But the US ambassador has given out a reaction. Let's first quickly listen in to what the ambassador has to say, and then I'll tell you exactly what the NSG has been brought in for.
Equally both directions, because I dream of a day in which we have many more American students coming to India. It's a way where we can, I think, very proudly continue to get to know each other. This is a really beautiful day. We have seen demand unlike anything we've experienced, and each year we say that, right? So last year, busier than ever. This year, going around the country, we've seen so much demand for Education USA's university events, because there's so much excitement about what I think is this moment between the United States and India. Indians in India know Americans in America much better than America and Americans know India and Indians. But that's beginning to change. Every business, every student, every government person in Washington's like, tell me more about India. So I feel like I'm kind of at the right place at the right time. But my journey started long before this, when I came here first as a 14-year-old. I was just a high school student. But I returned here as a university student when my college roommate's father became the United States ambassador to India. Coincidence. I didn't know him beforehand. You just get a roommate assigned to you. And he said, do you want to come to India? And I came on a second trip that really changed my life. Because when I returned to New York to go to school, that's when I said, I want to study all things Indian. Started studying Hindi and Urdu. Started, looking at the classic religious and cultural texts of India and South Asia. And I even was going to study here my junior year abroad. I got accepted to an American program here that Antioch College has in Bodh Gaya, of course, where Buddha was enlightened, a Buddhist studies program. But politics got in the way. I ran for student government, got elected. I said I have to fulfill my campaign promise, and I stayed in New York, and the dream died. But the dream's alive again, because I'm here as ambassador now.
Well, Alec Garcetti over there talking about that cool anecdote of his that, it was never planned, and coincidences do happen. He visited India way before he himself is now the, United States ambassador. But the G20 summit, the National Security Guard has been brought in to deal with contingencies. From artificial waterfalls to various, art galleries and, these underpasses and flyovers turning into an art gallery personally for all these artists. The National Security Guard, the country's premier counter-terror force, is being brought in to deal with contingencies and threats, including chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear CBRN attacks during the next month's G20 summit. The NSG's House Intervention Team, which is the HITS, the HITS, and sniper teams and its bomb disposal squad have been asked to conduct anti-sabotage checks at all G20 venues. Sources in the security establishment said NSG has also been asked to deploy its anti-drone teams as part of multi-agency employment of assets and will work closely with the Air Force as well. The entire spectrum of the expertise of the NSG will be employed by the Ministry of Home Affairs for security during the G20 summit, which is this particular remark coming from a senior security officer himself. The NSG, in coordination with the Delhi police and other security forces, will be deploying for anti-terror, anti-sabotage and anti-drone tasks, as well as to meet any CBRN contingencies. CBRN, again, chemical, biological, radiological and nuclear attacks during the next months and upcoming G20 summit. So those 3 days, the NSG is going to be on its A game essentially, and the sniper teams, I'm sure they're already carrying out drills.
Security aspect is very important.
The central Delhi is already very secure right now.
When you're talking about the top leadership of the world, of all those very important economies being there, of course security is going to be a vital aspect. It's going to be a coordinated effort on the part of securities of teams that are coming along with these delegates as well. So NSG has got a proven track record about it, and I think that is what they are trying to highlight about the fact that the NSG is taking up, is to say that there is confidence when they take up the security aspect.
Well, G20 summit, a lot to look up to on the 8th, 9th and the 10th of September, right next month. All eyes on that. You can, of course, count on News9 to bring you all the latest on that.